Well, tonight, India's anti-narcotics agencies are hailing what is being described as a massive breakthrough in the global war on drugs. A seizure worth a staggering 182 crore rupees. But this is not just another drug bust, because the drug at the center of this operation is Captagon. Well, the substance infamously known across West Asia as the Jihadi drug. And this is its first ever seizure in India. Hello and welcome to NewsX Deep Dive. My name is Vineet Malhotra, where today we take a look at what this drug is and its movement in India. Let's first begin with what Captagon is. A highly addictive synthetic amphetamine type stimulant. Captagon is the brand name for fentanyl that was originally developed in the 1960s to treat conditions such as ADHD, depression and narcolepsy. The drug was banned internationally in the 1980s after concerns over addiction and abuse, and was later placed under Schedule 2 of the UN Convention on Psychotropic Substances. Today, most Captagon tablets found in illicit drug markets are illegally manufactured in clandestine laboratories and usually contain a dangerous mix of amphetamine, methamphetamine, caffeine and other synthetic stimulants. Captagon earned the name Jihadi drug after gaining notoriety across West Asia, especially during the Syrian conflict, where terrorist groups including ISIS were accused of using the stimulant to boost alertness, energy and endurance while reducing fear among fighters. It is also known as a poor man's cocaine. Security agencies and international investigators say that Captagon can induce heightened alertness, prolonged wakefulness, suppression of hunger and fatigue, temporary euphoria, increased aggression and impaired judgment. Repeated use can also lead to psychological dependence and severe behavioral changes. Over the past decade, various international investigations and conflict zone recoveries have reportedly found Captagon tablets amongst armed groups and organized trafficking syndicates in war-hit regions. Investigators also believe the massive profits generated from Captagon trafficking have become a major source of illicit financing for organized criminal and extremist-linked networks in certain areas. This brings us to the massive Captagon seizure carried out by India's Narcotics Control Bureau under what agencies have code names Operation Rage Pill. Union Home Minister Amit Shah took to X to announce the action, stating that agencies have achieved the first ever seizure of Captagon, the so-called Jihadi drug, worth rupees 182 crores. He stated that the busting of the drug consignment destined for the Middle East and the arrest of a foreign national stand out as a shining example of our commitment to zero tolerance against drugs. We will clamp down on every gram of drugs entering India or leaving the country using our territory as the transit route. So far, information suggests that the drug arrived in India via the Mundra port in Gujarat in a container declared as a wool consignment. Destined for West Asia, a Syrian national has reportedly been arrested for the drugs movement in India. And after arriving at Mundra port, the consignment was allegedly moved inland towards Delhi, specifically the Nape Sarai area in South Delhi. The NCB then carried out coordinated seizures at the Mundra port as well as Nape Sarai. Investigators believe India was being used primarily as a transit route and was allegedly destined for Saudi Arabia, the broader Asia market. Having reportedly originated in Syria, currently considered one of the world's biggest illegal Captagon production hubs, investigators believe India was being used primarily as a transit route. Approximately 200 kilograms of Captagon tablets with an estimated street value of 182 crore rupees or $20 million were intercepted. The arrested Syrian national was allegedly operating from Delhi and is expected to have coordinated onward movement of the drugs. Agencies are now probing possible links to international smuggling syndicates, narco-terror financing and extremist networks. Well, the seizure is significant because it is India's first ever Captagon seizure. Captagon is heavily associated with conflict zone trafficking networks in Syria, and the bust suggests India may have been used as part of a larger international narcotics corridor. Agencies are also investigating whether this was a one-off transit operation or part of a larger embedded network using Indian ports and logistics chains. Moreover, globally, narco money and terror funding have often overlapped. Drug trafficking has historically funded insurgencies, terror and extremist organizations across multiple regions of the world. And that is why governments treat these seizures not just as criminal cases, but as security operations. Authorities are also moving to strengthen security at ports through enhanced surveillance and the proposed Bureau of Port Security, which is expected to function online similar to aviation security systems. The latest seizure comes amidst a broader crackdown on international narcotic networks. Recently, Indian agencies also secured the return of wanted drug trafficker Mohammed Salim Dola from Turkey under Operation Global Hunt. India is increasingly positioning itself as an active player in international anti-narcotics coordination because the drug trade today is deeply globalized. A chemical precursor may come from one country, production may happen in another, packaging in a third, transit through a fourth, and final distribution in a fifth. This is not street-level crime anymore. This is industrial-scale transnational trafficking. And synthetic drugs are especially dangerous because they can be manufactured rapidly in clandestine labs with constantly changing chemical formulas. And experts warn that the Captagon trade has become one of the fastest-growing illegal drug markets in West Asia, which is why India's Operation Rage Pill could have far-reaching implications beyond India. Investigators may now coordinate with international agencies, shipping intelligence networks, West Asian governments, and global anti-drug enforcement bodies to trace the larger supply chain. Because a seizure worth $20 million is not a small-time racket. This points to a sophisticated international network. And tonight, one thing is clear. India's first ever Captagon bust is a window into the shadowy world of narco-trafficking, terror finance and international smuggling routes. We'll talk about this with Mr. Dhanraj Banjari, former NCB Drugs ACP Mumbai. Sir, appreciate you taking out the time and speaking with us. So what does this bust mean? This is a huge consignment, almost 200 crores of rupees. And this is something which perhaps has not, happened for the first time. India has been used in past occasions as well as a transit point. What is significant about this bust?
This today's case is more significant, and the most significant, as our Honorable Home Minister has already said, that the significance of this case need to understand by 2-3 major words. Number one is jihadi drug. What we exactly mean by jihadi drug? The drug transitions which earn money, that money goes for terrorist activity or jihadi activity in the world. Now, in this case, South Asia is the target, as reportedly been told by Syrian authority and some foreigners who were arrested in this case. Number one, it helps the terrorist activity, the jihad. That's why it is jihadi drug. More important and more significance, the particular chemical, black pill was used here. The importance of this chemical is, this is the most dangerous psychotropical substance. Narcotic drug and psychotropic substances at NDPS designate this word. I salute our agencies today that they have done it. I congratulate them. Number two, I salute the people who in 1985 made this act so specific, so meticulous, that once the youth psychology been spoiled, 1 or 2 doses are enough. This chemical is most dangerous chemical to the psychological, mental health of the youth. And as being the India against all other world countries, we have 58% population of the young people. This is the meaning of perfect logical, reasonable meaning of jihadi drug. The jihad being done through drug upon the young generation of this country. And this is not being done by any Indian. There is no national, though there are people involved. The Kundra port is already ill-famed for this. The previous hauls there was done by DRI. Those all investigations should be compiled together, and one should know that who is the kingpin. And definitely today, we all Indians understood the kingpin is not national, it is international. This is the international drug dragnet we have broken today. And I am proud of my agencies to say that, yes, you have done a commendable work. Now, the more challengeable work is left to do, and that is to go in deep in the investigation, find out who are the people who are creating external threat for us, who from across the border do this conspiracy, or simply Indian ports being used for transportation of the. There are two major angles for investigation, the big challenges for our investigation. Is number one, whether India is a targeted country to kill and spoil their youth psychologically, mentally, or India is only being used for transportation as a career system. This will be the crux of investigation. And during this investigation, who is important threat from external side, that is from across the border. And number two is most important, you listen carefully, internal threats. Who are the people from our system helping this nonsense business going on against our own children, against our own grandchildren, and they have been spoiled. Those people, I think, never ever should be spared. They should be bring to the noose of the law, and the law will take care of them properly in a rational and systematic judicial manner. It should be done. And I think for my investigators, I appreciate them, their work, and I congratulate them in the future. They should do the most deepest possible investigation in this case, and one should be spared. Whosoever he may be, whatever powerful person, whatever moneyed man, whatever political boss he is, should not be spared. I sincerely appeal to the entire country, and particularly our intelligence agencies and our investigative agency, do the best. This is a golden opportunity to save our own children. Thank you.
Fair enough, sir. Appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you so much for those insights on this massive drug bust that took place recently. We take a short break. Be right back.